Hey guys, happy Monday. Before we get started, I kind of just wanted to check in. Hopefully, some of you can leave a comment when you start this video. But I kind of wanted to know what was up with Friday. Um, I know I don't usually post a video on Fridays, so maybe that was the reason. But we went from 86 views on Monday, which is probably where it should be. That means everyone's watching the video, plus some people are maybe rewatching. But on Friday, there was only 30 people that watched the video, or the video was viewed 30 times. So again, if you needed help to finish the notes, that was a really easy way to do it. It was actually really, I was like into the video on Friday too. I was awake. I was excited. I made some corny jokes. There's some pretty ugly still frames of me too that you could have used to blackmail me or something. Anyway, leave a comment, maybe let me know on Remind if Fridays really doesn't work for you. I will strictly try to keep it to the little SparkNotes quizzes and the vocab. Also, in terms of like grading, I did want to touch on too that I was missing a certain amount of people in each class. So for vocab and the SparkNotes quiz in NYU, we were missing 9 people. I think PACE was a little bit better. PACE, you're missing 9 of the vocab and 7 of the SparkNotes quiz. So 7 of you didn't take any quizzes on Friday. And then Columbia, let's see how they did. You guys had 8 of the vocab quizzes turned in, are missing, sorry, and 10 of the SparkNotes quizzes missing. So I sent out a message on Sunday kind of asking you guys to make sure that stuff was turned in. I'm just gonna have to save it as is. So remember, if you want to study, the quiz for the chapter is just on SparkNotes. You can practice all the answers right before you take it. And the vocab, it was 5 words. So if you don't do well, I know a lot of you have been asking me to retake. You just have to Zoom with me one-on-one and I will give you a definition. You got to give me the word. You might need to have your camera on for a retake, just so I know you're not just Googling it. Okay, I think that covers all of our grades from Friday. You should have turned in day 8, so we are moving on to day 9. Flying through this book. I heard from a lot of people that they are more into the book now that Johnny and Pony are on the run. I definitely think this is where the book kind of picks up speed, gets a little more interesting. All right, so we're gonna quickly open up our day 9 notes, and it looks beautiful. I hope you like the template today. We're gonna click to our slide 2. And it says vocab 5 minutes. So for all my friends that like to, not pass the vocab on the first try, let's take a second. Let's like actually click pause. Let's use the vocabulary.com link and let's study. Let's do the words like you would in class as a warm-up. I promise if you put the time in, some of you have told me you are well beyond this chapter on vocabulary.com. You can like just play in the morning, play at night. It's not too bad. All right. So the words this week too, before you leave me to go play, vocab.com. The words are reckon, frustration, stagger, smoldering, and clutch. Okay. So 5 words this week, 5 minutes a day. You should totally master them. All right. After you've paused and you've come back, we're gonna do our do now. I hope you guys noticed I tried to label this week what you're doing on Monday and what you're gonna do on Tuesday. This journal is actually pretty cool. So I want you to tell me about a person who you think would do anything for you, okay? How do you know that they would do anything for you? And would you return the favor? Would you also do something for them? So for me, I immediately think of like my wife, I think of my siblings, I think of my parents, right? A lot of times we're going to think right about our family. In our text today, though, we don't have family members that we're going to read about that would do these things, would do anything for our characters, right? Ponyboy doesn't have parents. Johnny's parents don't care for him at all. So the journal relates to today's reading because they kind of are family to each other. They would do anything for each other. So you guys should pause and, write 10 lines, 10 sentences about one person in your life who would do anything for you. And then try to tell me, would you do the same? Or maybe not. Okay? All right, you came back. We have one more slide to cover today. I liked the way you guys kind of answered your questions last week. I think only giving you 2 questions per slide was good. So I'm going to try to keep it that way. If you guys keep turning stuff in, I'm going to keep it as light as I can. Okay? Today, 2 questions. We're going to just analyze some phrases that Ponyboy either thinks in his head or says out loud. Okay, so remember internal thoughts and feelings. That's when you think something in your head. That's the author's craft. And then dialogue is when you're saying something out loud. All right, our 2 questions say, number 1, what does the author mean? I wrote means. What does the author mean when Ponyboy states, the memory came rushing like a wave? Okay, so if a memory is rushing back to you like a wave, what does that mean? I'm sorry, it's kind of late. I was trying to get this done Sunday night so that I didn't have to wake up early tomorrow morning, but I'm very sleepy and now I'm crying. Whew. Okay, number 2, explain what Ponyboy means when he says, it's my pride. There's going to be a specific thing in this chapter that Pony believes is his pride and joy, what he really likes. All right, we are going to go to page 59. So if you need to go back to the stream, I put all the links for the day, right? So that's where you open this YouTube video. That's where you play vocab.com. And now you scroll down and you go to 59. So we can start reading. All right, chapter 5. I wish I had water or something in here. All right, I woke up late in the afternoon. So remember, they have arrived in Winterfell. They're at the church. They kind of both passed out because they're so exhausted from their journey. For a second, I didn't know where I was. You know how it is when you wake up in a strange place and wonder where in the world you are, until the memory comes rushing over you like a wave. I half convinced myself that I had dreamed everything that had happened the night before. I'm really home in bed, I thought. It's late and both Derry and Soda Pop are up. Derry's cooking breakfast, and in a minute, Soda will come in and drag me out of bed and wrestle me down and tickle me until I think I'll die if he doesn't stop. It's me and Soda's turn to wash the dishes after we eat, and then we'll all go outside and play football. Johnny and 2-Bit and I will get Derry on our side since Johnny and I are so small and Derry's the best player. It'll go like the usual weekend morning. I tried telling myself that while I lay on the cold rock floor, wrapped up in Dally's jacket, listening to the wind rushing through the trees' dry leaves outside. All right, so let's pause. We already have our number 1 just popped up. So it says he didn't know where he was, but the memory came rushing over him like a wave. So it probably isn't a pleasant experience for him. I'm imagining like when you get hit by a wave and you are not expecting it, right? I don't think it's a fun feeling. So the author uses that phrase to show you that he is overwhelmed. He is caught off guard by this. He is definitely uncomfortable with the fact that he is not with his brothers in this moment. Okay? And then the author also kind of continues to show that through having him immediately be imagining that he is home and he's eating breakfast and he's with his brothers, right? Being in the church is like a wave hitting him. I'm not at home. I'm alone. Alright. Finally, I quit pretending and I pushed myself up. I was stiff and sore from sleeping on that hard floor, but I had never slept so soundly. I was still groggy, and I pushed off Johnny's jeans jacket, which had somehow got thrown across me, and I blinked, scratching my head. It was awful quiet, with just the sound of rushing wind in the trees. Suddenly, I realized Johnny wasn't there. "Johnny?" I called loudly, and that old wooden church echoed me. "Ani, Ani, Ani." I looked around wildly, almost panic-stricken, but then caught sight of some crooked lettering written in the dust on the floor. "Went to get supplies. Be back soon. J.C. Johnny Cade." I sighed and I went to the pump to get a drink. The water from it was like liquid ice and it tasted funny, but it was water. I splashed some on my face and it woke me up pretty quick. I wiped my face off on Johnny's jacket and I sat down on the steps. The hill the church was on dropped off suddenly about 20 feet from the back door, and you could see for miles and miles. It was like sitting on top of the world. When you haven't got anything to do, you remember things in spite of yourself. I could remember every detail of the whole night, but it had the unreal quality of a dream. It seemed much longer than 24 hours since Johnny and I had met Dally at the corner of Pickett and Sutton. Maybe it was. Maybe Johnny had been gone for a whole week and I just slept. Maybe he had already been worked over by the fuzz and he was waiting to get the electric chair, since he wouldn't tell where I was. Maybe Dally had been killed in a car wreck or something, and no one would ever know where I was, and I'd just die up here alone, turn into a skeleton. My overactive imagination was running away with me again. Sweat ran down my face and back, and I was trembling. My head swam. I leaned back and closed my eyes. I guess it was partly delayed shock. Finally, my stomach calmed down. I relaxed a little, hoping Johnny would remember cigarettes. I was scared, sitting there by myself. So basically, he wakes up, Johnny's not there, he's nervous, and it's like what anyone does, right? If you're scared, I definitely do this. I go through like all of the bad scenarios or situations, so he is just panicking a little bit. Alright. I heard someone coming up through the dead leaves towards the back of the church, and I ducked inside the door. Then I heard a whistle, long and low, ending in a sudden high note. I knew that whistle well enough. It was used by Shepherd Gang for Who's There. I returned it carefully, and then darted out the door so fast that I fell off the steps and sprawled flat under Johnny's nose. I propped myself up on my elbows and I grinned up at him. "Hey, Johnny. Fancy meeting you here." He looked down at me over a big package. "I swear, pony boy, you getting to act more and more like 2-Bit every day." I tried unsuccessfully to cock an eyebrow. "Who's acting?" I rolled over and sprang up, happy that someone was there. "What'd you get?" "Come on inside. Dally told us to stay inside." We went in. Johnny dusted off a table with his jacket and started taking things out of the stack and lining them up neatly. "A week's supply of bologna, 2 loaves of bread, a box of matches," Johnny went on. I can't stand bologna. Blech. I got tired of watching him do it all, so I started digging in the sack myself. Whee! I sat down on a dusty chair and stared. A paperback copy of Gone with the Wind. How'd you know I always wanted one? Johnny reddened. "I remembered you saying something about it once. And me and you went to see the movie, remember? I thought you could maybe read it out loud, help kill time or something." "Gee, thanks." I put the book down reluctantly. I wanted to start it right then. Peroxide. A deck of cards. I suddenly realized something. "Johnny, you ain't thinking of..." Johnny sat down and he pulled out his knife. "We're gonna cut our hair. You're gonna bleach yours." He looked at the ground carefully. "They'll have our descriptions in the paper. We can't fit 'em." "Oh, no." My hand flew to my hair. "No, Johnny, not my hair." It was my pride. It was long and silky, just like Soda's, only a little redder. our hair was tough. We didn't have to use much grease on it. Our hair labeled us as greasers. It was our trademark. The one thing that we were proud of. Maybe we couldn't have corvairs or Madras shirts, but we could have hair. We'd have to cut it anyway if we got caught. You know, the first thing a judge does is make you get a haircut. I don't see why, I said sourly. Dally could just mug someone with short hair. I don't know either. Just trying to break us. Can't really do anything to guys like Curly Shepherd or Tim. They've had about everything done to them. And they can't take away from them because they don't have anything in the first place, so they cut their hair. All right, we're going to stop on 61 at the bottom. Your last question today is, again, what does he mean by saying his hair is his pride, right? Why is his hair something that he doesn't want to get rid of? I really don't want to give you the answer for this one because you have the evidence, so just take a second. Look at 61. Why is his hair his pride? There's a couple lines in there that let us know exactly what he means there. Okay? Pretty easy day, only 15 minutes in this video. So you guys should have done your do now. You should have answered 1 and 2 and just studied a couple minutes of your words. All right? Please leave a comment, hit the like button, show me that you guys are actually watching this because, again, I'm posting videos and we got 30 views last week. We could do better, okay? All right, I miss y'all. Message me, I'll remind again if you want to retake that quiz. I've been up at school, I've been in Trenton, but I will schedule a time for you to do the retake, okay? Love you, miss you. See you soon.